welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining. Make sure you keep yourselves muted as you join, just so we don't have any interruptions during the pitches. Feel free to have your video on if you want as you're jumping in. And we will be doing some networking at the end for those of you that want to stick around to meet some other attendees and everything. But welcome to our 6th pitch competition. I'm going to be continuously letting people in because of this waiting room feature that Zoom makes us have now. But we're gonna get started here in probably another few minutes. I want to let some other people join that I know are coming. For those of you that aren't familiar with, let me do right here. There we go. For those of you that aren't familiar with our pitch competitions, or if this is your first one, we have 6 amazing startups that are pitching tonight, and to our panel of investor judges, and they'll be scored on a number of different parameters that they've been kind of obviously aware of on rating each startup. And the winner is going to get $500 cash, plus we have a couple prizes that we're also giving out, including free Entre Pro memberships to each finalist. And also they get a free session with one of our judges, Scott Kallick, as well. So which is super exciting. And yeah, so let's if everyone can pull up the chat as well during this, just so I'd love to have people introduce themselves. Where's everybody from? Feel free to drop in your website links, your emails, your Entre profile links. Whatever it is that is the best place for people to learn more about you and what you're doing. But I love to use that chat as a way to, everyone get to know each other. And we'll also be able to, have any questions as well coming through there. And you'll get to also learn more about the other people who are attending the event. So, okay, there we go. Awesome. We got some people dropping in. Fantastic. So real quick before we kick things off here, I want to just quickly update people on the new things that are going on with Entre, and let everyone know all the new updates that we have for those of you that don't already have the app or aren't involved. So if you haven't logged into the web app in a little bit, or you haven't joined, this is the home page here. You'll be immediately prompted to see now like all the trending content and the For You content. This is going to be the most popular content on the app right now. And then you can also just see the feed of content with your connections, and also just the newest content on the app itself as well. You'll be able to easily search for content by industry and location. You can search by people based on title, industry, and location as well. So if you're looking for specific people, you can do this very easily on the app and just filter all the investors or all the developers in one click, just like that. We have a ton of our events are listed here as well. One of the other cool things that we're doing, and this is our event tomorrow, which Ben is going to talk a little bit about, but one of the features that we recently just added is you can actually sign up for events now right on the platform. And you can pay and upgrade to Entre Pro right through the platform as well. You can post jobs. So if you're looking for co-founders, if you're looking for developers, anything like that, this person's looking for animators, game developers, SEO marketing directors, you can post and apply for jobs or gigs right on our platform as well. And then we have our whole deals section, which we've been adding a ton of companies and services and software to this to get you a ton of discounts and deals on really interesting platforms and really popular platforms that probably a lot of you already use, like G Suite and Brex and Industrious and Gust and a ton of other. We have like 50 partners now. So that's just a quick update. If anyone's interested, if anyone has any questions, if anyone wants to get involved with anything that we're doing, if anyone needs help with anything at all, feel free to just reach out to me. My email is my tag on my profile here. So it's just michael@joinentre.com, and feel free to shoot me an email. Happy to talk to anyone or figure out ways to help them in any way. And I think we're pretty good here. I've been letting in people throughout this, and I think we're pretty much ready to get rolling here. I want to introduce first off one of our partners, and what I just mentioned with our event going on tomorrow night, Ben from Fourscore Law. Ben, you there?
Yep.
How's it going, Ben?
Good to see you, Michael.
For sure. And I'd love to have you share a little bit about what you and your team do at Fourscore, and then feel free to talk about the event that's going on tomorrow night. And I'm going to drop a link in the chat to that event for everyone to sign up as well. And that's going to be a really cool event.
Sounds great. Appreciate it. So, hey, everyone, I'm Ben Jacob, business lawyer at Fourscore Business Law. At our firm, we specialize in representing early stage startups, entrepreneurs, handling venture financings from seed to Series A, B, and so on, M&A activity, technology licensing, and serving as outside general counsel for companies of all sizes. We have a ton of great resources for founders and early stage companies at our website. I'll drop a link into the chat. Check it out. But as Michael mentioned, we have a great event tomorrow night. We're really excited for tonight's pitch competition and hope you'll join us again tomorrow for a startup story. It's going to be tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Another Fourscore attorney, Sean Bally, is going to be joining Blue Recruit founder Rich Camacho. So tune in here about Rich's story building Blue Recruit, as well as some of the key legal lessons that he learned along the way. Again, that's tomorrow night at 6 p.m. And there's a link I just dropped into the chat. So best of luck to everyone pitching, to all the pitch finalists tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it, Ben. And yeah, like you said, I just dropped the link into the chat there. It's a free event, so you can sign up and grab your ticket. It's going to be, we did one, I think a couple months ago, and it was awesome. And it's really important for, early stage founders to understand all the, it's not the, the most interesting stuff, but the legal stuff is super important. And it's really important to understand that stuff. It's something that I'm continuously trying to get better at and learn as I grow and build Entre. So, Ben and his team have been super helpful for us. And I know, they help a lot of other founders too. So definitely check that out. And Ben, appreciate you being here.
Definitely. Thanks, Mike.
For sure. Next up, I want to pass the mic over to Kareem from Ramp. Kareem, you there?
Hey, yes. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. Well, super glad to have you guys part of this event, and I'd love to have you share more about Ramp and how much you guys are doing in the startup ecosystem with your card and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, this is our second foray into startups as a founding team. So we had started a company and sold that one to Capital One in 2016, and saw a little bit how things were done inside a corporate cards company, and decided there was a better way to build corporate cards. So instead of focusing a lot of our efforts on marketing and points, we've decided to build a corporate card product that was actually trying to save time and money for the teams that were growing and using these corporate cards. So our primary focus is to help companies that are growing save money as they're buying software, they're buying services. This is what we've been focused on. So as you see our company is growing and you need to buy software and all sort of devices for your business, and in some cases you want to reimburse certain employees for having for spending on their own personal cards. You can do all of that from the Ramp platform. No need to use any expense management software outside of that. So virtual cards, virtual cards, physical cards, everything you need. And very excited to be partnering with the people at Entre. So thank you for that, and excited for the competition.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to drop the link in the chat here with our page and the details of the partnership. But yeah, I mean, we love what you guys are doing, and how much you're helping make that whole process of finances and expenses super easy for startups and everything. So you can get a $500 Amazon gift card when you sign up on the page there that I just dropped in the link. And definitely encourage everyone to check that out, and let us know if you have any questions, and definitely feel free to reach out to Kareem and their team. Obviously, they're super knowledgeable guys just in the startup space as well, and good people to know for sure. So thanks so much for being here and being a part of this, Kareem. We really appreciate it. Awesome. Well, without further ado, let's get into the judges super fast, and then we'll start the pitches. So we have some awesome judges here. We have some incredible investors. They've done a lot of stuff in the startup ecosystem, not just investing, but just like helping founders and startups, which is why I love the group that we have here. I'd love to kick things off and do ladies first, and pass it over to Nisha. If you wanna kick things off, I'd love to have you share a little bit about yourself and everything you're doing, and then we can move over to Erica as well.
Sure. Thanks, Michael. It's great to be here for another Entre pitch night. I'm Nisha Desai, founder and CEO of Andav Capital, which is a New York-based investment firm for early-stage tech-enabled companies, where we also focus on underrepresented founders and impact line value drivers for above-market returns. And we define underrepresented more broadly. And I love connecting with Entre because I think it has founder base that is outside of Silicon Valley and certainly the coast. And we fundamentally believe that there are great founders running healthy, capital efficient businesses in the rest of America, and they should have better capital access. And we don't believe that it's just a social mission. We're here to make above market returns. For sure. And we love everything that you're doing, and super glad to have you part of another one of our events. Erica, would you share a little bit about yourself and everything that you're doing at 1000 Angels?
Yeah, hi. So my name is Erica Duignan Minnihan. I'm founder and CEO of 1000 Angels, which is a digital platform to connect early stage companies raising seed through Series B to direct investments from high net worth individuals, family offices, and other less connected seed funds. So we invest in companies that are typically raising anywhere from $1 to $5 million. We focus on the tech sector, but we're flexible there. I'm also founding GP of Rain Ventures, which is a $50 million seed fund, which invests also in tech and technology enabled companies from seed through Series B. Really excited to meet everybody here today and to hear these great pitches. So thank you, Michael.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back. It's been a while, and you're doing so much, and definitely a great person to follow on social and Twitter and LinkedIn and stuff for startups, because she's always putting out great content and great information for startups. And I think you're still doing those webinars too, right?
We do. Yeah. If you go to 1000angels.com and sign up for our mailing list, you'll get an invite to any of our monthly webinars on investor training, which I think is also really valuable for founders. We have a great YouTube channel for 1000 Angels with plenty of recorded content. And we also just started a video cast series called the Series A List, where we interview well-known early stage VCs and startup founders to help educate our community on the process of raising capital. So would love for you guys to check it out. I'm at Erica Minnihan on Twitter.
Yeah, it's great information, and yeah, thanks so much for being here. Brian Jenkins, would you? I'm so glad that we were able to get you to be part of this event, and super thrilled to have you here. Would love to have you share a little bit about yourself and everything you're doing as well.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Brad Jenkins, CEO, co-founder of Seed Round Capital out of Houston, Texas. I'm a serial entrepreneur and most recently had an exit to private equity in the legal tech space. And my partner and I started in June, primarily focusing on mentoring and advising startups. Since then, we've made about 20 investments. Typically, we're co-investing, so we don't have a fund, but we have a large group of angel co-investors that we work with. So we're typically running syndicates 100 to 250K. Pre-seed and seed round is our focus. We work with primarily tech companies that have product in market with some traction, whether it's revenue or customers, but we're typically involved in 500K to 1.5 million rounds in that range, and we help with coaching and so forth, and are excited to be on today. Michael, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, for sure, and it's super awesome what you guys have been doing, and I think it's really important, and I love like the early stage in the seed round stuff, and you have like probably the best name out there for that too. So glad to have you here. Next up, Kirubha, do you want to introduce yourself and obviously Bloom's new, but you've been in the game for a little bit now with Board of Funders and everything. So I'd love to have you share a little bit about your background and what you guys are up to now.
Yeah, so I'm KP. I'm part of the investment team at Bloom Venture Partners. We have a venture fund and a private equity practice. Our venture fund does pre-seed to seed stage investments in fintech, future work, and digital health companies. And in our private equity fund, we acquire SaaS companies between 500 to 2.5 million in ARR.
Fantastic. And yeah, we have an interview coming out too on the podcast here shortly with Bart, who's the founder of Bloom. It's super interesting, and we dive into a lot of cool topics. So everyone keep out the lookout for that as well. And last but not least, Scott, I'd love to have you share a little bit about your background and everything you're doing now as well.
Sure, thank you. My name is Scott Kallick, and first of all, I'm a part owner of Entre, and that's been a really exciting part of my life. I am a advisor, mentor, life success leadership coach. I have a 25-year background of starting an infant business and growing it, to a mature, healthy business and exiting successfully. And after that, I became a coach. Went through coaching program, and I started to work with startups, founders, CEOs, small business people, and I really helped them grow both personally and professionally. And it's been a cool ride. So really happy to be here. Really excited to hear the pitches. Guys, pitch your hearts out. This is it's a lot of fun, and it's a great experience.
Yeah, thanks so much, Scott, and for everyone too. Scott's been super helpful for us, as an investor, but also as an advisor, and he's always looking to connect with up and coming and interesting founders and startups. So definitely connect with him and also the rest of the judges, and we have a great group of people here. So
yeah, one other thing, as part of the being part of this. I'm offering a 1 hour complimentary session with all the people who will be pitching tonight. So
Yep, and we'll do introductions as well afterwards for everyone to make it easy as well. And all right, well, without further ado, let's get into the first pitch. So for those of you who came in a little bit late, there's going to be 6 startups pitching. Each company is going to get 5 minutes to pitch, and then they're going to get 5 minutes for a judge's Q&A. We're going to tally up all the scores at the end, and we'll announce the winner, who will get $500 cash. And then we also, all the finalists will get free Entre Pro memberships, which will get them $20,000 worth of deals and discounts with our partners. Plus, they can come to all of our other events for free as well. And on top of that, they get the 1 hour session with Scott as well too. So first up, I'm super excited for this company. First up, we have Bestmap. Anatoly, are you ready to go?
Oh, yeah, sure. Everybody.
Okay, fantastic. So let me get 5 minutes on the clock here, and then you can get started whenever you're ready.
Sure, fine.
Let me see. Do you see that screen?
Yep,
Can you
we're
see
all
it?
set.
Okay. Hi, my name is Anatoly, and I'm CEO of Bestmap. If we look at the mobility and transportation market, each country and city has own transportation system in city or country. So the thing is, when you're in a city where you've never been to, you think how to get around the city, and you use different mobility applications like Uber, Lyft, or just Google, like how to get around, how to get to point B, or buy a ticket physically at a terminal. The problem we want to solve is huge, and each city has a different ticketing platforms, mobility applications, and you need to download this application each time in a new city or country. So Bestmap is an aggregator of all transportation in one app. So we basically combine all the scooter companies, Uber, Lyft, car sharing vehicles. We sell tickets for a bus, train, airplane, and allow you to rent a car in the same application. So if you use our app, you don't need any more 5+ mobility applications on your smartphone, because you probably have it right now on your iPhone or Android phone. So who are those people who use our applications? Are travelers and urban people who like to discover new places, new countries, or new cities they've never been to. They usually have tons of different applications. And me as a traveler, when I came to Italy and discovered new bicycles, I struggled to download the applications and I didn't want to register each time in a new app. So I came up with a solution to develop an app that combines everything in one. And at the same time, when you live in San Francisco or New York or Barcelona and different cities where you want to get to your job, so you want to find a bicycle close to you or a car sharing vehicle that you will rent for 5 or 10 minutes. But there are different companies like Scoot, Lime, and Bird, and you need to check all 5 applications. These people who use these apps are glad to use our application because it solves them a lot of time. Google Map, Apple Map are great applications, but you can't buy a ticket for a bus or train or airplane. You can't compare a bus with a train. If you soar from San Francisco to Los Angeles, you can't compare an airplane and an Amtrak. And you cannot rent a car in the same application. But there are other applications like Wanderer, where you can compare it and you can buy a ticket. But there are no scooters, there are no metro solution. You cannot just buy one ticket for a metro in San Francisco or Los Angeles or New York City. So we combine all in one, and here's the difference. Our strategy is a win-win strategy, where we make partnership with all transportation authorities, mobility providers, grow city by city, and hire people who would like to work with us in different cities, because we want to understand the local transportation infrastructure. Like, we don't want to go city by city and don't understand the local
transportation authorities and so on. We want to work with people who already know everything about transport in the cities, because the more people use our applications, more people buy tickets for buses or trains at the cities, and more money earn the transportation authority because they have partnership with us. So they want to make a partnership with us because our mobility application will allow them to get more users in their buses or trains in their city. It's one of the biggest market right now. It's growing each year. And when I started to analyze this market, I was so confused because Uber and Lyft, they didn't want to develop this infrastructure and make partnership with cities. Right now, we see they want to do that. And they buy different companies on the market here in San Francisco or in Europe. And public transportation authorities spend billions of dollars each year to improve mobility market. America spent more than $100 billion last year for mobility solutions. Our business model is basically sell tickets, make partnerships and affiliate programs with different companies, and also provide mobility platform for cities to analyze where is bus number 23 today and how many people bought a ticket. And we can offer for tomorrow, if you will relocate this bus to another street, it will be better for you. And offer the solution for companies with 20 rental car companies, because there are only 3 major companies that offer, like Amadeus, Sabre, and Travelport, and everybody works with them. But there is no solution for small companies that operate in a city. Like San Francisco has 5+ rental car companies here. And if you don't live in San Francisco, you don't know that they exist here, but you can rent the car there. With our app, you can do that.
Hey, and
Because
I'm gonna have to cut you quick. I'm gonna have to cut you off.
Yeah.
Now it's been a great pitch, but you went a little bit over 5 minutes, so we're gonna have to jump into.
I was over 5 minutes.
Yeah, just a little bit. So we're gonna have to
Okay.
jump into the judges Q&A here.
Sorry, I thought it's like forward.
All good, all good. Yeah. Whoever has wants to kick it off with the questions.
I'll start. What's your sort of traction to date? What do you have built? And, do you have users?
Yeah, we have right now more than 250 users. We will go to Product Hunt on Friday. We expect to get more users from the Product Hunt. We focus on San Francisco and New York right now. We have data in 15,000 cities and made more than 300 mobility partnership with companies like Uber, Lyft, Six, and other.
So what's your model? How do you make money? What's been your track record so far?
Yeah, we sell tickets. So each time when you buy a ticket for a bus, train, airplane, we earn money. Each time when you rent a car or motorcycle, we earn money. We will launch a mobile platform for public transportation cities in 30+ cities in December. So each time when user will buy a ticket for public transport, we also will earn money. We make partnership with transportation authority, and they advertise us in their buses, because the more people use our app, the more money they earn. And we earn money for each transaction.
So when you sell a ticket for $400, how much do you retain of that?
I can say right now about rental cars. If you rent a car right now in our app, I will earn about from $20 to $50.
I have a question around that specific pricing model. How do you know that users won't simply use your aggregation platform for discovery, figure out which local car company is offering a car for their time slot, and then just conduct the transaction directly on their platform without paying the surcharge?
Can you repeat, please? Don't understand the question.
Yeah, the question in short is, how do you know, you're providing a data service to end users and you expect them to pay a premium based on finding information, right? But they can always find the car company through your app,
Yeah.
and then go book directly for a lower price on a different platform or directly with the car company. How do you,
The thing is, all companies that actually offer rental cars, they take this data from one place, from Sabre here in America, or from Amadeus in Europe. So we take from one resource and all our prices almost the same. But the price will be different if I connect my company directly with a small company here in San Francisco, because I will not go through other different companies. Yeah.
So,
Did I answer your question or?
Yeah, I think you kind of mentioned you're effectively focused on smaller direct businesses and medium-sized businesses in the local community, not
Yeah,
other.
we have. Yeah, because the thing is, it's hard, but it's easy if you have connections with companies who can give you this data, and we have partnerships already. So we can give you this data right now and you can rent a car. But to get to other businesses, it's much harder because you need to build your booking reservation system. And that's why we want to raise investment to develop it and focus on that.
What do you mean by partnerships? What exactly are they working with you for?
Let's say there is a company in San Francisco, they have 20 cars here, and I need to develop a ticketing platform to be able to add their company in our application and then allow you as a user to rent a car. And the same with a bus or train. Companies like Wanderer or Omio in Europe, they develop their own reservation system, and they don't work. They are able to add any bus company in the world right now, but we cannot do that because we work with the big major companies like Sabre. They also work with their company as well, but they develop their own reservation system. And while we're growing, we develop partnership with Wanderer as well, and they wait when we will get enough users to be able to make these partners, and they will give us this data as well. We already spoke with their company. Yeah.
Anatoly, this is Brad. I like the concept. I was looking on my phone. I have a folder with travel apps. I have 20 travel apps.
Me too.
So
I think everybody almost, yeah.
Yeah. So my question is, how feature rich can you make your application, considering you're going across and trying to, solve for, a dozen or more types of transportation? As an example, an airline app might be focused and have a lot more functionality in picking seats and doing things like that. And a hotel app maybe would let me pick a room type or other things. So how do you compete with that and the feature richness of the specific apps?
So right now, because we started development in January, so it's about almost 11 months of the development, less than 11 months of the development. Our goal was to develop a basic what we can. So add rental cars, add tickets for buses, trains, airplanes, and create our own map with the metro, with bus stops, bus schedulers, and make like a lot of partnerships so that we can. And from that point, we will start focus more on specific features where we can not only sell tickets as kayak or a price line, but also be different in some different way. Yeah. But for example, with rental cars, we can offer, we will allow you to rent a car from a local company here in San Francisco instead of from a major company like Priceline offers. Because actually they take data also from a Sabre. The thing is, in 1960s, there was a company and they developed this booking system for airline tickets and then for rental cars, hotel reservation systems, and almost more than 90% of all travel companies, they take data from the same resource.
How much revenue? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
How are you thinking about go to market with COVID and reduced travel?
Oh yeah, right now, most of transportation authorities, they are open to make partnership with us because they want to get more users. They want more people use their buses or trains, and they're relatively open to us. We talk right now about a payment platform for public transportation system, and we will launch 30 plus in 30 plus cities in December. Yeah, I would say they struggle because less people use their buses and trains, but they are open to change their view. Like if before people could use only cash in the bus, so right now they can use only application. Yeah, and we want to become a partner and become a general application in the city.
All
How
right.
much revenue have you generated this year?
We just started to generate, I would say, like less than $50 last month.
So Jake was, and thank
And,
you for having me, by the way.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, so we just finished the platform, just got 250 users from our network. We'll launch our application product hand and want to raise $500,000 to hire more people from industry and acquire more users.
Gotcha. We're gonna have to cut off there, just so that we can get onto some of the other pitches. But
Sure.
really great job, man. That was awesome. And everyone,
Thank you so much.
yeah, give him some love in the comments in the chat there. That was a great pitch and great questions too from the judges. We'll give a couple minutes for the judges to update their score sheets. And just for the judges to make sure you're on the correct score sheet, you each have a tab at the bottom of that as well to list your scores. So to make sure you're not, doing someone else's scoring sheet there. But Anatoly, really appreciate it, man. And thanks so much for being a part of this. Next up, we have Impaction with Shivani. Shivani, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Fantastic. Well, let's give it a minute. We'll have our judges finish updating their scores. Can you bring up and share your screen, and then we can kick things off here. Let me reset the stopwatch as well.
Yeah, sure.
While the rest of the judges are finishing up, I'd invite everybody who's listening in here to drop any questions you have for the presenters in the comment section. I love to make this engaging, and I often check over to see what you folks wonder and ask those questions as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's also definitely helpful for the speakers too, or for the the startups and the founders presenting. If there's questions or things that people have, it could definitely help them out as well. Okay, great. I think we're all good. The only Scott, are you on the correct tab? Because I don't see you filling it out.
Yeah, I filled it out. Let me get back there. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
1 second.
You may want to copy yours out of there, Scott. Looks like I'm on that same tab.
Yeah, I think you guys probably.
Uh,
Yeah, that's why I was.
Got it. Okay. Sorry. Give me a second here.
So who? Yeah, and
I'm sorry.
so Scott, you put yours in Brad's page.
Well, yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Okay. And Brad, yours are correct now.
Not yet, but keep rolling if you want, and I'll do that.
Okay, fantastic. All right, Shivani, whenever you're ready.
Awesome. All right, I'm ready. Hi, everyone. I'm Shivani Choksi, and I'm the CEO of Impaction, Impact Plus Action. Did you know that 60% of social enterprises believe that finding talent is the only challenge that gets more difficult as the social enterprise matures? On one hand, job creators find it extremely difficult and dedicate a large amounts of time and money finding the right candidates for their organization. And on the other hand, job seekers don't know that these social impact jobs exist in the first place. Our services at Impaction increase the chances of finding quality candidates through our community development projects. Our community development projects are ways that we increase user engagement with our projects and lower the barrier to entry of what it means to make a social difference. You don't need to start an organization or donate money if you can't. You can participate in social innovation competitions. You can participate in weekly hackathons called video sessions, and you can participate in international community projects where you give back to your local communities every single year. Our framework is that we'll take these 3 different types of projects so we can connect more people to social impact jobs. People who weren't traditionally in the social impact space in the first place are now going to enter the talent pool in the social impact space, so we can have more job creators be tied to the right candidates for their organizations. Our social impact job portal and recruitment services is our primary revenue generating product, where organizations will pay per post depending on the stages of their business. And for those who need recruitment services, we'll pay for those services at premium fees. Our target customers are social enterprises, whether they're nonprofit or for-profit. Undergraduate and graduate students will be our job seekers, people who are ultimately majoring in humanitarian and environmental fields end up being those students. And social impact incubator and accelerator programs who are looking for talent are also a part of our customers. Our total addressable market in the US alone is $156 million, but since we're a global company, this can expand to $25 billion. There are many competitors in this space, and some of them might look familiar, but actually none of them are expanding the talent pool in the social impact space like we are. We have our projects that bring people in, and we're able to connect them to social impact jobs, people who are not traditionally in the space. And we do that at very affordable costs and ultimately no cost to the job seeker. So far, we've generated $10,000 in revenue from our partnerships in hosting these competitions. We've also grown our user base to 1,300 members across 50 countries around the world, have partnered with 12 organizations also based around the world, and have already connected 100+ job seekers to creators through our proof of concept, which launched in just 3 months ago. Right now, we're working to increase our user base to 5,000 members so we can launch the minimum viable version of our product, the Social Impact Job Portal, next year, and launch our recruitment services the year after that. We're a team of innovators and executors who have been both on the job seeker and the job creator side. My background is in international development and working with nonprofits for the last 6 years. My co-founder Sukanya's background is in human resources and talent acquisition. Tanvi's background is in software development and product management. And Bora's background is in education and project management. We have 3 advisors on our team who have over 20 years of experience in their chosen fields. And ultimately, they've all worked in the social impact space in one shape or form. We've talked to hundreds of people in this space, and what we found is that 93% of people are interested in making some sort of social impact, but 40% don't believe that the current social impact space makes it easy to do so. We say, start small, but start somewhere to those people, and we thank you for starting with us.
Great pitch and perfect timing. That was right at 5 minutes. Let's get into the questions.
I have a question. So I thought it was a really interesting pitch, and congratulations. I think that there's a lot of good intent and passion behind what you're doing. I think the one thing that wasn't totally clear to me is the alignment between, I guess, people being able to do, small tasks that don't necessarily involve fundraising and the job portal. I mean, is that just there to generate revenue? Because, for example, I'm on the board of a very large nonprofit, and obviously we hire, researchers to get the work done. It's not necessarily something that people can volunteer at. So I'm just confused as to, is the motivation for the business allowing nonprofits to engage people on a small level, or is it truly a job matching portal?
Yeah, so good question. Ultimately, I think you're referring to our community projects, right? So let me just flip to that screen. So these are ways that we get the job seekers involved in social impact. So the people who may not be able to, donate or start their own organization, but are still interested in social impact in one shape or form, they come in through this outlet. And because of that, we're able to expand the talent pool and connect them to jobs.
But how do you know that they want a job? I mean, maybe they have a job doing something else, but they just wanted to, support a cause. I think that's what I'm trying to understand, is the connection.
Yeah, so actually, this is our third year of operations. And over the last 2 years, people have organically asked us if we can connect them to jobs in the nonprofit and the social enterprise realms. So we've heard from our community on multiple times, and because of that need, we created the job portal.
I get it.
Thanks. And Shivani, just to follow up on that,
Yeah.
so is your business model an affiliate one whereby you source, put a screen over, for example, all of the jobs on monster.com and Indeed, and say this is a Impaction approved social impact job, and then connect job seekers? Or are you originating the listing, which I think is a very different business model with a lot of fixed cost and technology investment, and I can't reconcile that with your fee structure in terms of sort of long-term growth and viability. So
Yeah, so
affiliate model.
Yeah, so we're thinking of having an affiliate model very soon, but actually we've had our job creators post jobs directly through our proof of concept right on over the last 3 months. And through that, we had over 60 jobs posted already. So our users and our enterprises are the ones that are posting jobs, and they typically end up being early to mid-stage companies that are in need of talent right now. So especially when we move towards that recruitment side, that's going to be where, our large volume or highly profitable enterprises will be posting jobs, and we'll be vetting candidates for them. So it's an original listing right now.
So is your revenue model that you get paid by the nonprofits as they hire people who you've recommended?
Yeah, so with the job portal in particular, if you just want to have a 30-day post on our website, that is going to be, the job posting. But on the recruitment side, we're going to be, we have more of like a detailed idea of how we're going to be doing the background checks for them. We're going to be vetting the candidates for them, and we'll be offering like anonymous resumes through our portal. And if they want access to connect to those candidates that they're interested in, we'll release those resumes and connect them directly. So it's going to be more of a community-based connection type of portal.
How much of your revenue is service or one-time based versus recurring?
It's recurring. So currently we've generated the most amount of revenue through hosting these social innovation competitions with nonprofits and social enterprises. But right now, those are, one-time contracts. We're expecting this to be reoccurring.
All right. Well, amazing pitch. Thank you, judges, for the questions, and great job. Congrats on everything that you've done up to this point. Also, for people who are asking about her website link, I dropped it in the chat there. It's just myimpaction.com. We'll let the judges tally up their scores, but Shivani, great job. Thanks for doing it.
Thank you.
And I'm also going to drop some more, a couple other links in here for everybody. So this is all the judges, their websites and their LinkedIns. I'm also going to drop in the link to the Entre app as well. We are going to be doing our next pitch competition in December. So if for anyone in the audience looking to apply for one of those and be at the next one, or just stay in touch with everything else going on and meet some other cool entrepreneurs and investors on our app, you can just click that link. You can sign up for free. It's super simple. Let me just check the judges' scores, and it looks like we're pretty much good to go. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
hang on 1 second.
Let me just, I'm bringing up the next person. So next up we have Parafin. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be Adam. I'm not sure if Brian's also going to be talking, but we have both of them, both the founders from that team. Adam, you there?
I'm here and I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, fantastic. You even got it labeled as the Entre pitch competition. Very nice. Okay, let me get 5 minutes on the clock, and we'll kick off in just a minute here. Okay, let me let some more people in here.
Yeah, Brian should be on the chat. So if you have any questions while I do this, he should be able to answer.
Okay.
Yeah, Brian's my co-founder.
Yeah, teaming up. That's a great idea. Okay, fantastic. Well, Adam, whenever you're ready, I'll start the clock.
I'm ready. So yeah, thanks, Michael. And it's great to be here. I'm very excited to present everyone here. And my name's Zoom's always getting in the way. Yeah, I'm Adam Hengels. I have a background in real estate development where I've spent 2 decades working for largest development companies on very complex projects around the world. My co-founder, Brian, I mentioned, is in the chat if you have questions. Brian's an architect who is an expert in computational design, and he had pioneered the field in a lot of ways by starting the computational design studio at one of the largest architecture firms in the world. So in our experience in real estate development, one of the most painful parts of the process is when you're hunting for new opportunities. And in a lot of ways, it's just like venture capital in that you have to look at a lot of deals in order to find one that works. But one of the differences is that for each of these opportunities, you have to pull your team off of existing projects. Having trouble here. Okay. You have to pull your team off of existing projects. You end up spending weeks with architects and contractors in the process, spending lots of money. And in the end, if another developer beats you to winning that project, all that effort, that time and money it's all for nothing. So what Parafin does is it's a cloud-based platform that helps a real estate developer understand what you can build on the site and whether it makes money for you. But we replicate that process, that arduous process I just described, using high-powered cloud computers. So what Parafin does is generate millions upon millions of designs on a particular project, each one tied to a budget and financial model, allowing the developer to instantly know what to build and whether it makes money. So I'll very quickly show you. So I won't go through the process of inputting a new project, but it only takes about a minute. It's 4 quick steps. On the left here, I have all the designs that have been generated, sorted according to investment performance. And here is our investment model, which will show you the building program, budget, revenue, and investment performance. And on the right, we have the actual design that was generated by Parafin. You'll notice that this is a Marriott courtyard design, and we have floor plans and elevations and perspectives. That's because this version of the software was built in partnership with Marriott Hotels. And the way that works with Marriott is, and other hotel brands, we charge the hotel chains $25,000 per brand annually to have their design standards preloaded into the software, and a $10,000 setup fee for each of their brands. This saves the hotel brands a ton of time because they spend a lot of time coordinating with the developers on the designs that come in for approval. Right now, this is an even bigger problem for the hotel brands because they've laid off 80% of their staff, including their design review staff. And on the other side of the two-sided marketplace, we charge the individual real estate developers $10,000 a year to run unlimited projects on the platform. And now there's also a COVID related problem related to that, in that architects don't have the time to be spending with the developers on these new opportunities because they've also laid off a lot of their team. So we're obviously not just stopping at hotels. We're raising money to build a multifamily version, which is a much larger marketplace, and go deeper into the design and development phases to create a $50 billion marketplace. There are other solutions that help architects automate the design process and tools that help developers understand their projects. But Parafin's the only solution that tells developers what they can build, how much money it can make, and does it instantly. So our competition is, the resistance of an industry that hasn't changed a whole lot. So, I mentioned the partnership with Marriott. We're raising $2 million to expand into multifamily and hire the team in order to do that. And our team, as it is right now, is amazing. Industry leaders in architecture and software development. And so we're excited to invite you to join us on this mission to blaze trails in an industry that's resisted change for decades. And feel free to reach out with us. We'd love to partner with you.
Great job, Adam. That was a fantastic pitch. And we can open it up now to the questions for the judges.
Hey, Adam, Brad here.
Hi.
Does your great pitch, really enjoyed it. Does your application require integration with a map, or is a map just really a underlying component and your application's really a design component with the buildings and so forth?
Yeah, so the map is integrated into the software. We have third-party data providers that help us with the actual parcel data so that a user can select the site without having to draw it. But with that data preloaded into the software, they can simply select the parcels that are part of the project.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say very cool pitch, Adam. I actually have quite a few friends from business school that went into development, specifically hospitality and hotels. So I'm just curious, this seems like a great product, and you said that you were starting off with hotel development, which is a pretty sizable, portion of the market. Why are you already expanding into multifamily? What's your traction to date? And do you feel like you've penetrated the market for hotel developers already?
No, we've only recently launched the hotel version with Marriott, and we'll be expanding that into other hotel chains. But so we do want to expand our offering in hotels. But right now is our tough times in hotels, and and there are opportunities that are pretty much once in a lifetime opportunities in both hotels and multifamily that we don't want to miss out because of the market slowdown and eventual recovery. So we don't want to miss that opportunity, and we want to go after the multifamily market as soon as possible.
So the pivot is just because there's less hotel development.
Well, I wouldn't call it a pivot. I would call it an expansion. So
well, I mean,
we'll
pivot in terms of your focus, right?
I wouldn't call it a pivot. We'll be focused on both.
Okay.
Hey, Adam, first of all, Wonderful pitch.
Thank you.
You know, my conception of the hotel market is that a lot of the hotels are fairly similar in their design, whereas multifamily, you know, you're gonna get a big variation on, you know, filling a lot and developers really wanting different types of designs. What do you see as the challenges for yourself in that?
In multifamily specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the one of the reasons that we started with hotels is just the reason you mentioned. You know, the designs are more consistent, has less degrees of freedom than multifamily. So, yeah, so bringing a product to market faster was easiest with the hotel, you know, sub-market. But with multifamily, there's a lot more complexity. Because there's a lot of variation with the units themselves. You don't just have hotel rooms. You could have, you know, studios, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, et cetera. So it's more complicated, and, you know, and we're going to need, you know, we're going to need a bigger team to tackle it. And that's, you know, part of the reason for the fundraising.
And do you
Well, that
see
is the
yourself
reason.
charging larger fees to multifamily developers than you are to the current hotel developers?
Yeah, because the value proposition is so much stronger. You know, there's another degree of another degree of complexity. So the value proposition is another degree higher for the multifamily developers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Adam, to what extent is this self-managed by the internal folks in a corporate, in a, you know, real estate company or in a multifamily developer's office? Or does your team have to handhold through the redesign and the different Monte Carlo simulations or whatever simulations that are run in the background? And how much?
It's 100% self-service. This is what our customers see, and we've gone through a lot of pains to make it as user-friendly for real estate developers as possible. One of the things we learned in our pilot program that had a lot more user interaction, and we had to get involved with the process with developers, is that they wanted it to be as simple as possible. So we spent a lot of time making it as user-friendly as we could for the individual developers, and the feedback that we've gotten is you know, been outstanding. The developers get it. They understand what's going on. You know, they understand all the financial metrics. These are things they live and breathe already.
That makes
So, yeah.
So writing off of that question, are you then going to make the pricing model on a per seat subscription basis, as well as similarly situated software often is?
We don't expect so. No, within a development team, within a development company, there's usually certain individuals that will be running a software like this. Sometimes, you know, there'll be collaboration between different people on the team, but we'll be charging the company as a whole.
Thanks.
Adam,
What is a typical sale? Go ahead.
Adam, can you talk a bit about your traction with revenue and customers? Do you just have the one customer right now with Marriott, or what's the traction?
Yeah, so this summer we launched with Marriott, the Courtyard version. So our customer traction, you know, aside from the pilots, has been exclusively with Marriott. Part of our agreement with Marriott is to offer the software for free with as part of like an early program where they've selected a number of their preferred developers who are using the software, and we have our own preferred developers using the software, so that feedback is provided to Marriott and to us as far as the value and usability. You know, frankly, this is a tough market to be charging. So we've decided, you know, not to charge for the software, not to charge real estate developers for the immediate future.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
What is a typical? Go ahead.
Go ahead. You're good.
What is a typical sales cycle And how long is the sales cycle?
The sales cycle for the hotel brands can take a while. It took us like close to a year to finally, sign the deal with Marriott. And there's a lot of reasons behind that, but with the individual hotel developers, the process, can be several weeks to a couple of months. It kind of depends on where they're at in the cycle of looking for new projects.
All right, Adam, great job, great pitch.
Thank you.
And thanks for the questions, judges. All right, let's get those tallied up, and we'll bring up our next company. We have Movitsva from SmoothPops. Are you there?
Yes. Yes.
Fantastic. All right, cool. Let's have you bring up your deck while the judges are finishing their scores here. And let me get 5 minutes on the clock. And looks like we're pretty much good. Almost good to go.
Sorry, give me a minute. I'm struggling here tonight. Sorry.
Oh, good. Yeah, it might be a good idea to fill them out as the pitches are going on, just to make it easier and speed up. I know we're running a little long here already, so I'm trying to move as quickly through this just to be respectful of everyone's time as possible. But okay, looks like we're good. So whenever you're ready, we can kick it off.
All right. Hi, my name is Movitsva Simmons, and I'm the founder and CEO of SmoothPops. And I want to share with you today my company that's going to completely disrupt the freezer pop industry. So the problem is, when my son was about 6 months old, he was teething and cranky. So I ran and got a flavorized pop to soothe his gums. But then his mouth turned bright blue. And then I realized that there were 3 main problems with freezer pops in the market. They all are shelf stagnant. They have a 5-year shelf life, made with preservatives, stabilizers. Their ingredients are made with pasteurized juices that have no nutrition, concentrates, dyes, and they're really only viewed for kids as a summertime treat. So then I founded SmoothPops. We make the classic freezer pop and reimagine it using fresh whole fruit, blended like a delicious smoothie. So there are no juices or concentrates. They're all gluten-free and vegan, non-GMO ingredients, and the calories are 35 to 50 per pop. And the best part is they're all preserved and kept fresh in the freezer, right next to your popsicles and ice creams in the grocery freezer aisle. Our mission is to create craveable but guilt-free snacking experiences, upholding our snack promise, which is simple ingredients, nutritious, all natural, convenient, and making it a solution for you and your family. Our business model is we sell primarily wholesale through our grocery retailers, as well as our D2C on our e-commerce platform, smoothpops.com. And right now our margin's at 53% with a MSRP of up to $9.99. But with volume and our scalability, our MSRP will be anywhere from $5.99 to $7.99, which is kind of commensurate with some of our competitors. And here's some of our market validation. Right now on YouTube, there are 23 million views of people looking for healthy ways to make freezer pops. How can I make my freezer pops at home naturally? Because there's nothing that you can go into the store that has real ingredients. They're all the juices that you find warmed up on the bottom of a grocery shelf. The other validation that we have is our testimonials from our customers who love the texture of our product. The texture is more of like a sorbet because we use the fibers of the whole fruit. We don't use juices or concentrates, so it doesn't have that icy icicle texture. And we have demand from a lot of retailers and distributors who are looking to carry our product, but right now we just don't have the capacity to meet that demand because of our in-house manufacturing limitations. We're targeting our millennial parents. That's our given market, but we're also reaching for health-aware, active millennials and Gen Z young millennials who are looking to relate to a really fun brand, who are looking to turn the package around and see clean labels, and are looking to kind of really shop with brands that have a mission base. Our market size is, we're in the frozen novelty market. That is about $25 billion. That is not even including ice cream. Ice cream we know is a much bigger market, but just frozen novelty, where we would be categorized, we have $25 billion as a market that we can really enter into. And of that market, $272 million are just Freezer Pops alone. And mind you, that is just Freezer Pops that we know that are about 10 cents a pop, because we know the ingredients are really cheap and stuff. So we really have an opportunity to kind of penetrate and even dominate the market with opening an entire new category of how Freezer Pops are made, similar to what Halo Top did with low calorie ice creams. And so here's a competitive landscape of what Freezer Pops that you will find right now. Like I said, you'll find all of these sitting on a cardboard box in the grocery store. They're all ingredients are made with gums, stabilizers. Some of them have oils in them. We're the only Freezer Pop that's that you shop right directly in the ice cream freezer aisle. That's how we keep our products fresh and preserved with whole fruit. We don't use, like I said, juices or concentrates. And so that's part of our competitive advantage, using quality products and ingredients. Our brand positioning of being a brand that's relatable. We're a mission-driven brand, and we want to expand into assortments that are really innovative. So including wellness and performance blends. So think of adaptogens, or maybe a blend that's going to give you an energy boost. And all that is just a snack that's going to be keeping you after your post-workout meals, in between Zoom calls. And then, so we also have the first mover advantage. Like I said, we're like the Halo Top of Freezer Pops. We're the first ones really doing this with whole ingredients and stored directly in the ice cream freezer aisle. And then we want to expand our brand width, so you can find SmoothPops in different touch points. So besides the grocery aisle, you'll find us at concession stands, pop branded kiosks, maybe in your local Soul Cycle as a very healthy treat that you can have to refresh yourself after a workout. And our go-to-market strategy, I mentioned Halo Top as being the disruptor in their category, and that's what we're looking to do as well. And we also relate to other brands such as Smart Sweets, which is a Canadian-based company, but they've really penetrated the US market as well with their really fun and relatable branding. And Silk, with their positioning, they were the first ones to enter the market in terms of being into the fridge. And so we want to be the first ones in the freezer aisle.
I'm going to have to stop you there real quick, just because we're a little bit over 5 minutes.
Okay.
And I got to be respectful to the other startups. So we can just jump right into questions from the judges, but fantastic pitch.
Mavitsa, this was a great presentation. Understand the need here. I want to understand how you plan to get in the freezer aisle, the freezer real estate in grocery stores, even Costco's extraordinarily hard to get into, and the margins for the folks who sell your product direct to consumers has to be meaningful. So what kind of margins do the grocery stores take, and how are you getting into them?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. So right now we're in about 50 locations right now in grocery stores. We're mostly in New York City based, so we're in all 5 boroughs. And so the margins that's within our category are about 35%. And so I'll kind of just refer back to here real quick. So with our 35% margin, we still can have, with the groceries 35% margin, currently right now, we still have a 53% profit margin on our end. And with scale, it does go down to 48%, but that is with including distribution. Right now, we're doing self-distribution. We're doing in-house manufacturing. So the margin of 48% includes a landing cost of distributors, which would take about 20 to 25%, a sales rep, which would take about 5%, including the 35 to 38% margin for retailers within that space category. And then I want to just also quickly refer to you. So one of our mentors is Barry Turner, and he's the founder of Lenny and Larry's, and he's really a pioneer in the CPG industry of putting protein in pretty much any and every baked good possible. And so he's gotten into 18,000 doors, and he has those relationships. And so we're working with him and his advisement and his mentorship in really opening those channels like Costco and things like that.
Hey, Maritza, great pitch. And I'm just curious, one thing you referenced was that currently you are struggling with really producing to the demand. So what's your plan to really scale up and begin to produce so you can increase your distribution?
Yeah, so we're actually doing a fundraise, and we're looking to go into co-manufacturing. Like I said, right now we're doing everything in-house. And so we're looking to kind of really do R&D to develop the scalability of products to maintain the quality and ingredients, but do it for scale with a co-manufacturing partner. And with that will definitely give us the up on being able to reach a lot more doors and definitely meet the demand of even more than what we're being demanded right now. So
how is that going to affect your margins?
So that 48% margin includes all of that. So that 40% is us at scale. And so that I think that's pretty healthy for our category in frozen, because that includes the logistics of landing and shipping frozen products. And like I mentioned, the distributors margin, as well as the retailers taking their cut as well.
So I have a quick question. One of the things I noticed when you're discussing the competitive landscape is, that you sort of pointed towards, I guess, Otter Pops, but there are plenty of, popsicles, big brands like Outshine that, offer a similar product. So, I would certainly not neglect those in your competitive landscape, because they are there, right? They're, actual popsicles that claim to be mostly fruit comprised. And then the other thing is, if you look at, you sort of pointed to Halo Top and Smart Sweets as similar products, but the key differentiator there is that both of those products are actually designed for adults, and that's part of why they can command a really high price, because with Halo Top, it's basically ice cream that's filled with fiber and pretty much zero sugars. And then Smart Sweets, it's candy that's filled with fiber and zero sugars. And it's mostly, grown-ups sort of eating them. So they can charge, what are obscenely high prices. So for a popsicle that's less of kind of a, dietetic product and more of natural for kids, with a, $8 to $10 price point, how many popsicles were in the package? Because it looked like there were maybe 2 or 3.
So you have a 2-part. I want to address first your first part of the question is, so there's 6 pops in a pack.
How many?
6.
Oh, 6. Okay. It looked, for some reason, it didn't look like there were that many in there. Okay, that's better.
Definitely 6 in a pack, and they're 2 ounce each. So it's 12 ounces in a pack. And I do want to, so one of the things with our marketing,
like 6 whole popsicles, or like you break them in
pops, 6 whole 2 ounce freezer pops.
Okay.
Inside of a pack. And so when you mention things like, I'm going back and forth, but when you're mentioning things like the age range, and that is one of the things, I know I sped up my pitch to kind of get through it, but that is one of our differentiation is our branding, and our messaging is not for kids. So my inspiration in my company is founded because I wanted a better solution for my son, but really how I gave it to him was because I was an adult millennial who just had freezer pops in our freezer all the time. And that's how I gave it to my son. And so one of our biggest consumers are the young millennial who is, looking for healthier and cleaner ingredients. They are the shoppers who look for Smart Sweets or for Halo Top. And like I said, it's that branding, that messaging, the fun part of it. That's kind of how Smart Suites and Halo Tops relates to their consumer, which is we share the same audience. And when I said that our target audience, they are target, but our given audience is kids. So kids are, you know, parents with kids, they're just like they're naturally going to give their kids a Smart Suite candy because they find it better than the regular gummy bears. That's just something that will be given. But the person who doesn't have kids is really searching for them. And that's who's searching for our products as well.
All right. Well, if your target is millennials, you know, throw some booze in there and you'll really have it on your
That
hands.
is definitely part of our product assortment strategy. From, if you look over here, alcoholic blends coming soon. So
Great. Well, then do that, and you'll have no problem finding investors.
Yeah, I think my other flavor request at this point is I'll take some caffeine and protein powder in one, and
yeah. Exactly. I'm looking forward to our energy booster blends, or a collagen blend. So these are all things that we want to do, like in the future: CBD blends, collagen blends, adaptogens, and like I said, these are geared obviously more towards adults and millennials, and that's where we are doing our messaging and branding towards as well.
Great job. And yeah, if you can become the White Claw for freezer pops, you'll be set. But that was awesome, and love it, and thank you to the questions. Bless you, Scott. We'll give it a couple little bit here for the judges to tally up their scores. But fantastic pitch, and looking forward to your success with SmoothPops. I've been putting the links to the startups too that are pitching in the chat for everyone to check them out and their websites and stuff as well. And next up we have Reconcile. Jamin, are you still on here, and you ready to rock?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Let's bring up your screen. It looks like everyone's good to go. Brad, I don't see your scores coming in. Are you? Oh, there we go. Okay, that was all set. All right, never mind. Can you make this full screen, Jamin?
I thought I did. Okay.
Okay. I mean, it's fine. It just looked like it was there was a border on it, but we should be good to go. Let me put 5 minutes on the clock, and you can start whenever you're ready.
Can you see this, by the way?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. I'm Jamin Desai, the co-founder and CEO of Reconcile. We enable busy professionals to review and organize their credit card charges with minimal effort using a voice-powered financial assistant. So how do we get here? We are in an era in which—
Slide isn't changing, just a heads up.
Oh, all right.
Your slide isn't.
Let's see if we just stop sharing.
Yeah, that's why I said it didn't look like it was full screen or in like present mode.
All right. How about now? We're good? Thumbs up?
yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, so how do we get here beyond the technical difficulty here? We're in an era in which it's never been easier to spend or subscribe, but also harder to keep track of where our money is going in and out. You know, we're paying less and less with cash and more digitally with our phones and credit cards, making the reconciliation process that much more difficult and time consuming. And in fact, I want all of you to take a moment and reflect on the last time you went through all of your statements line by line. And for the few of you that can actually remember, think about how long and painful that process was for you. Now imagine if a smart assistant did all the work for you instead. What if all you had to do was tell it what to look out for with just 5 seconds of your time? With Reconcile, you can do just that. So no more mental notes or stickies to remind you of what to keep track of, what charges need to be reimbursed, what charges need to be sent to your accountant. Reconcile looks after all of it for you and does the heavy lifting automatically. All you have to do is use our Siri integration or our in-app assistant to quickly tell Reconcile what to do for you. So here's a couple examples of how it works. You can say things like, make sure my Verizon bill doesn't ever exceed $120, or alert me if my Audible free trial starts charging me, or make sure my Nordstrom refund posts as expected, or tag the Starbucks charge from today as a business expense. And by the way, you don't even have to open the app. You can give Reconcile your work while you're out and about, just by using your AirPods or your Apple Watch. We see a huge opportunity for automating our reconciliation process. I mean, as consumers, we expect fast and personalized experiences. Yet we're still expected to go through our statements line by line with a highlighter in hand and highlight what's wrong or needs to get sent to another piece of software, and then open up another app just to close the loop. We know Reconcile can save the hundreds of millions of cardholders worldwide hours of their time back with our automated solution. And to monetize our target audiences, we'll follow a freemium model for the next few years. So as of now, we're offering the app for free to early adopters, and we'll continue offering a trial version with limited automation afterwards. Next, we'll be able to automate more upstream business and tax-related workflows, and at that point, we'll offer a $9.99 version to busier professionals, independent workers, and small business owners. And then once we have a critical mass of business professionals, we aim to sell into enterprises, offering them a fast solution for their employees to automate their corporate reimbursement workflows. And the beauty of our model is that we don't really see ourselves stepping on anyone else's toes. Rather, we see ourselves as a bridge between the payments and the post-payment accounting layer. Essentially, we're a middleware helping users quickly wrap up their financial jobs to be done. And with the rise of banking and software APIs, we can directly integrate into our users' other financial systems. So our output becomes the input into things like Expensify or QuickBooks or even Ramp, for example. And so far, we've brought together a phenomenal team, gained early adopters, and are now testing with them. What resonates most with our users so far is the promise that they will have one less thing to worry about. And every time we chat, they bring up a new voice command that they can use and that's used to simplify one more financial headache that they're dealing with right now. And as mission-driven founders, that's exactly what we want to hear. We're a bunch of creative, technical, and strategy-minded folks that live this problem firsthand as consultants and entrepreneurs. It was our personal frustration with forgetting about charges or spending hours on reconciling that led us here. Each of us has experience building product or founding an early stage team, which is one of our most intangible strengths. And I'm very excited at how well-rounded our competencies are. And to close, we truly believe Reconcile can be the bridge to financially anxiety-less lifestyle. So that's it, everyone. Thank you for being a good audience, and I'll take any questions you have now.
Great pitch. First one to be under on time by a good bit. So fantastic job, and we'll open up to questions now.
Hey, Jamin, nice pitch. Can you talk a little bit about your kind of where you're at with your product in market, you know, in your beta, and kind of where you're at with that?
Yeah, sure. We've been releasing to our users via test flight. We've got about 20 folks that we're talking to every day, and we've got a wait list of like 300 users. So every week we're aiming to onboard 20 more at a time. Really a slow and steady progress to make sure we bring on the power users on first. Yeah, we've got a working app, and if you want to try it out, we can onboard you the coming week.
Can you just explain, like, I don't think I completely understood like the key differentiator between this and like Expensify or, you know, the existing apps?
Yeah, sure. Well, Expensify, I think, is more for just like your maybe business expenses on personal cards. We aim to kind of clean up the whole personal card and reconciliation process. You know, if you use your Chase Sapphire Reserve, like you've still got to look through those statements every month. Expensify can kind of help you like get your money back. But although they still kind of require that, like, you know, snapshot of your receipt. And as someone that had to deal with that for years as a consultant, like it's still kind of a pain in the ass. What we do is like you link your bank accounts to Plaid. You just got to say like, hey, tag this Uber as business. And then we kind of package that charge up with your credit card details and then send it over, you know, to an Expensify or Concur expense management platform. So you don't have to take out, you don't have to deal with receipts or anything like that. And then you get the additional benefits of being able to track your personal expenses as well, which Expensify won't do.
Hey, Jamin, great pitch. I'm just curious, what do you see as the challenges moving forward as technology, people's habits change? What do you see as the challenges for your product?
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of the technology standpoint, we're seeing voice tech actually take off more and more and become more of like a familiar, friendly, and trusted tool. So I think that's actually a good wave that we're riding now. I'd say the bigger challenges come around just distribution, being in a space that's a bit crowded. We've got to make sure we can acquire customers cost effectively, and also be able to really make an impact in the space and get away from all that noise. So I'd say that's the number one thing we're probably dealing with. Challenge.
Yeah, I mean, as a follow-up question to that, what do you see as your acquisition cost per customer?
Yeah, we're still figuring that out right now. In terms of like the benchmark rates, I mean, it's like $20 and $40 in terms of like a cost per install and a cost per activation. In order for us to really succeed, we've got to like get it down to that $10 benchmark. So that's just something where we're kind of devising different techniques with our pre-seed, round right now to make sure we can to test out a bunch of different channels for that.
Thank you.
It strikes me as a little odd that your current focus is a freemium model for users who might not even have a business purpose with sorting their personal expenses. Yet your money-making future, goals are to have enterprise customers, which are very hard to land, and also a different use case. They are not going to want to underwrite their employees using this for personal expenses, even if they do use it for business expenses. So help us understand, who you're focused on and why. I think it's a huge logical leap to assume, this day and age with the proliferation of SaaS companies, that freemium personal use apps can be converted to enterprise paid apps.
Yeah, I mean, I've always appreciated the Slack and Dropbox model of the kind of like bring your software to work approach. Reason we chose that is because we also want to like have a very consumer and user focused product team. I find that when you kind of start in the more B2B realm, you end up the customer ends up becoming the HR rep and what they need to build for rather than what the end user wants. And I think with this model as well, it enables us to kind of shorten the sales cycle into these enterprises, because we can go to them with, you've got X amount of your employees using our product right now. Can we work at an enterprise deal to make them happy? And just speaking from kind of my own experience talking to the HR rep at my old consulting firm, it's something where like this could become an expensible software purchase for their kind of more senior associates, principals, partners, and things like that. Because it's, it's really these folks that have the most pain with what we're solving for, and that they've just got hundreds of charges coming in every month that they've got to deal with.
What are some surprises and insights you picked up from your beta testers?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is how used to Siri they are. That was actually one of our biggest fears going into it, because we knew that Siri wasn't the best technology to use. But I guess, the early adopters that we've tested with use it. They know how to like comfortably get around some of its more ASR, speech recognition difficulties. And I think, like I said before, the beauty is that they always come to us with a new voice command of like, hey, like, can this let me know which credit card to use, like, instead of me having to figure that out myself? Or, hey, can I use this to kind of figure out like what other refunds I've gotten the past five months, right? Or, hey, can I use this to also search transactions and then, auto tag multiple ones and then export that out. So it's just nice to kind of figure out what they want to see us build rather than us having to figure that out ourselves.
All right, Jamin, fantastic pitch, man. And yeah, that was very well done. We'll give it a few moments here as our judges tally their scores. And in the meantime, let's bring up our final contestant, James, from OrgCentral. James, you there?
Could you share Jamin's contact info?
Yeah, Jamin, if you want to put your contact info in the chat, that'd be great. James, do you want to come on and pull up your deck? All right, and for everyone too, I'm going to put Reconcile's website in the chat as well for you to check it out too. And okay, it looks like we're pretty much all set. Let me get 5 minutes here, and thanks everyone for their patience too. I know we're running a bit long, but we're at the last one, and this has been awesome. And these pitches have been great. So I'm going to be curious. It looks like it's going to be a very it looks like it could be a very close finish here. So James, I have 5 minutes, and whenever you're ready, go for it.
Again, welcome everybody. Thank you for the time. So we're going to go from freezer pops and expense reports to making cities smarter. So our platform is called OrgCentral. And if anyone's ever dealt with their city on any level, whether it's motor vehicle or putting a permit through, it's a horror show. So the problem, the pain point from the government side is massive waste. We've heard all these kooky stories over the years. By the way, there's a $5,000 grant if you want to adopt a donkey from Virginia. They'll pay you $5 grand a year as long as it lives. Good use of our money. And the average city we find is running anywhere from 15 to 20 different software packages, none of it interoperable or very little of it, which leads to a tremendous amount of waste. So we've tagged this problem too much software syndrome. And what it means to the citizens, it means to our tax dollars, to our user experience with any of this stuff is a lot of costs, high training costs, high turnover. Even within, say, a parks department, they'll be running 6 different platforms to run 6 different programs and have no big data when the city manager says, hey, how can we make more money off tennis this year? Who did it last year? It literally becomes people taking their shoes off and pulling out an abacus. So we are here to cure that. And I'll sort of cut ahead, by the way, this platform is built. We've got 20 paying customers, full boat cities. It's not a pilot. We've crossed the massive moat of being able to sell to government. And I'll go back in a minute and talk about why this is, we think, way better than our experience working with the AT&Ts and Verizons of the world in the past. So this is a short list of what we've got on the platform. It's about 25 modules. It's growing all the time, and pretty much anything from running your park and rec department to maps and GIS to payments and permits to agendas and meeting minutes for council minutes, all baked in here. We go from the front of the house, so in other words, the website, the intranet, up to the general ledger. We're not looking to get rid of, PeopleSoft or any of the big guys that are playing in the true enterprise side of the house, but there's a massive space in the middle that is completely fractured. So these names may or may not mean much to you guys, but this is sort of the short list of, if you bring OrgCentral in, what you can get rid of in your city, and stop, by the way, paying all those licenses and all that training and all that. From a market point of view, $80 billion, and this is a legit number of just services and SaaS stuff. This isn't including what cities pay for police cars and scanners and stuff. So it's a massive number, and COVID has been, as heinous as it is, huge for us because it's put a spotlight on how bad and behind cities are digitally. So it's made our sales process a lot easier. Pipeline is constant. This is the numbers across the country, 106,000 local governments. And we're, by the way, selling to police departments and sheriffs and sort of government agencies, not just towns and cities, but we are concentrating on state and local. So traction-wise, we're at version 3 of the product. Like I said, 20 active customers. One thing that's nice about these deals is there are a lot of capital up front for not a lot of work, because that's how cities are used to paying for stuff. And then it goes to, recurring revenue after that. But we're finding the average deal that we go into, we're just starting to work with City of Pittsburgh, where Michael is. Before we even get out of sort of discovery and start training, we're up 20 to 25%, just because they see, oh, you can do this, you can do that. So it's a very huge land and expand kind of marketplace. So here's some of the folks we're dealing with. And again, these are not pilots. These are like full dogfight RFPs, win the project, and cities are counting on us. From a buzzword perspective, we're hitting a lot of them. Smart cities. And I said in the front, make your city smarter. There's a lot of pretty wild stuff happening with scanners and this and that and flying cars. COVID has crushed most of those projects. I have a friend who's involved in some big ones. We're talking about things the city can get today, immediate ROI, immediate engagement with consumers. So as much as we have a lot of tech behind it, these are things that you can actually license and start using tomorrow. Team, I've run a digital agency for a bunch of years, working for all kinds of enterprise clients. And that's where a lot of our team comes from. We kind of stumbled into this government space and now are really loving it. But I just want to talk about that very briefly. I'm not sure what everyone's perception is of government. Mine was always, who the hell would want to work for government? What we found is it's the inverse of that. A lot of really smart people, they have funding, billions of PPP money is going to fund the kind of things that we do. The contracts are stable, they pay. We've worked for a lot of Fortune 500s and had to just literally chase money from Citibank. You get one of these contracts, it's ACH to you the day it happens. Typically 5-year contracts once you're in, and just a constant sort of hunger for innovation. And hey, we've got a new module. As soon as we build something, we can immediately go and sell it to our whole customer base. And
hey, James, I got to cut you off. You're a little bit over the 5-minute mark. And I just got to be fair to
everyone. Cool. It's the last slide anyway.
So we'll open up to questions now from the judges. His presentation was perfect.
No, this is Jordan. James, thanks for the work. I'm going to ask a really dumb question.
Hey, Jordan. This is just for judges. Sorry.
Hey, real quick, where are you in terms of revenue and how many customers do you have?
We've got 20 customers right now, primarily cities. There's a couple of sheriff departments and a couple of counties. Revenue is about 400. And recurring is something actually. Yep.
Got it.
Quick question. So, given the cash flow model you described, why do you even need to raise capital?
Because we are, I'll sort of be blunt, we're looking for capital and input. We're kind of struggling with how we grow, whether it's a partner model, a channel model. We've got a couple of relationships starting up with big people with like master contracts, but we're kind of selling these a couple at a time right now, and that's one of the struggles.
Okay. James?
Is anybody on your team full-time right now, or do you have other jobs as well?
Nope, this is my only 80-hour-a-week job. And this kind of came out of our agency practice. We started building this for a couple of one-off clients and then have morphed the whole team onto this.
How are you winning contracts versus the large, more like the Accentures of the world?
That's the beauty of the state and local space. Accenture is not looking at this. Accenture wants to go into Pittsburgh and sell them, $1 billion in parking meters. We're going to Pittsburgh saying, $200K in services and 50 grand a year recurring. So it's a pretty underserved space. And the enterprise stuff that we're doing is pretty unusual. There's a fair amount of people building government websites, quote unquote, but to bake in the ERP stuff that we're doing behind the scenes is pretty unique.
Hey, James,
what is your break?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry, do you have any?
What is the breakdown between services and SaaS revenue?
It's probably right now heavier on services, probably 60-40. But we've kind of given up. I'm going full open kimono here. We used to be very open to customizing things, and we'd be like, oh, City X, you want to do this a different way? Now we pretty much say this is, you've got 2 choices for how you want to do parks. Pick one and go. And they're just as happy with that. So we think that'll tilt it where we want to go.
And James, could you talk about the competitive landscape?
Yep. So you've got one side of it, people like Samsung and MasterCard doing just big, very moonshot kind of things. So if you talk to like Allegheny County, which is Pittsburgh, 2 million people, they interviewed some local just web design firms. And then the bigger players like that we're looking to partner with, like Tyler Technology, they're not really doing this front of house stuff. There's a lot of obsession with, police scanner systems and, all the smart city stuff. So we've got a few big players that do the website stuff, but they don't get into nearly the level of backend that, to take over a park and rec system is not inconsequential, and we can do it.
Hey, James, I'm really impressed with what you're building so far, but I'm not clear, like when you talk about making cities smarter, what's the actual service that you're providing?
Well, we're giving them a suite of software that runs everything from their website to their intranet to the park and rec to their HR department, pretty much, like I said, front of the house to the back. It's not, the smart city reference was about being smart now. We're not talking about scanners in your head and generating wind turbines off parking meters. This is software consolidation, big data, revenue, and cost savings you can do tomorrow.
Okay.
James, so you guys are offering, a one-stop shop and the ability to offboard a number of technologies, but you're underpricing. And is that a long-term strategy, right? They're effectively getting a better mousetrap and product at a lower cost. Is that correct? You're not charging a premium now?
That is correct. Yeah, we're not. So if you have your Pittsburgh and you have these 10 apps that we're going to get rid of, we're aware of what you're paying for those and we're sort of pricing accordingly, but it is that savings model and also the long-term staff savings and having your data in one house, which is huge.
So do you know, in terms of hypothetical 12-month spend, if they didn't use your product, how much they end up saving on a percentage or notional basis?
If they went another route,
yeah,
you mean, or if they kept doing it the way they're doing it? Well, again, to go to Allegheny County, which is the most recent one, they're going to drop about 6 packages. So take out training and support, but just annual licenses, that'll be about $80K that they'll save off the bat without training and support fees, which are high for these products. So you're getting at that we're selling this way too cheaply.
So I'm just a little confused, your sort of core competency is like a marketing and branding agency. Why the leap to, did you actually like build this software, or are you just, taking off the shelf stuff and sort of putting it into one and then marketing?
No, that's not off the shelf. So I should say that. So when we were doing, as a branding agency, we built, for instance, Citibank's credit card global application. So they came to us, rebrand a bunch of credit cards, and we said, why do you have 50 legacy systems doing applications? And built one system that did that. So we've always been very sort of enterprise driven. And in this space, it's just so obvious how, what a problem it is. But yeah, this is built, it's completely bespoke. This is not a, API kind of play, but we can talk to things. So if Tyler comes and says, we want to give you a feed of, or Central Square police reports, we have APIs that we can pull things back and forth that way. But it's built from ground up, bespoke stuff.
All right. What are the challenges in continuing to develop the software?
What are the challenges?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, we don't have a lot, sort of just, not enough time in the day. I would say one is picking our opportunities, which we've been pretty selective on what, we're going after, but there's just so much bad software out there and not a lot of loyalty from these clients. It's pretty interesting. Even if the IT people at Allegheny County spent a year scratching their heads on bringing something in, once they see a better way to do it, they drop it. And then the pricing thing, which came up a couple of ways here, that is a business challenge right now. Should we be dropping the 50K upfront setup thing that they're used to paying and flip that on its head, and maybe it becomes $5,000 a month instead of $1,500 a month forever? Those are kind of some of the strategic things we're trying to get a handle on.
All right, James, great pitch. And yeah, fantastic job. Judges, thanks for the questions. And with that being the last pitch, I'm going to have the judges tally up their final scores, go through the full 6 startups, and just what great job you guys all did with the pitches. And fantastic work, and congratulations on everything that you guys have all done up to this point. And thanks for everyone who's been sticking around for this as well, and to see the winner here. I'll let the judges, I'll give them a minute here. Now that they've seen all the pitches, go through, update any scores that they have, and then we'll announce the winners here. And if anyone came in late, I'm gonna drop some links and stuff in here. We have an event tomorrow night as well, which is going to go through an interview with the CEO of Blue Recruit, and also one of our law partners, Sean, and going through some legal stuff that they've gone through as they've built their company, and common things that founders face. So if you're interested in that, you can sign up. It's free. And that will be a super interesting event. And for everybody else who isn't familiar with everything that we're doing, they can jump into our app and our platform and connect with like-minded people, entrepreneurs, investors, freelancers for free from our mobile app or web app. And you can sign up. It's just joinentre.com. And I think that pretty much does it. I want to make sure the judges are all good with their scores. And oh wow, okay, so this literally came down to a half a point here. This is crazy. All right, so okay, let me get this in order here, and judges can confirm that everyone's good with their final scores. All right. Great. Well, wow, this is wild. I think this is definitely the closest one that we've had since it came down to a half a point. And for all the finalists, you'll all get a free Entre Pro membership, which you'll get access to $20,000 worth of deals and discounts with our partners. You'll get free tickets to all of our future events. You'll get access to our investor office hours, and we're going to be doing other types of office hours and stuff too. And we have a ton of other stuff in the works as well. And then you also get an hour-long meeting with Scott to help with your business and quite possibly invest too. But without further ado, congratulations to all the finalists. And we're gonna do third place first, which is SmoothPops. So congratulations to Movitzva on third place. Second place is Parafin. And first place and the winner of the $500 is OrgCentral. So congratulations, James. You squeaked out the win over Parafin by a half a point. And
it's election year.
What a great job. And congratulations to all the finalists. And I want to quickly thank the judges too. Great job tonight. Thank you so much for your thoughts and sharing everything. I do want to toss it back over to the judges if they want to say any final remarks about the event or anything that they want to share to the audience, where people can find them, where people can follow up with them as well. And I'll let them, kind of wrap up. And then for everyone else who stuck around, we are going to do we have time to do like one session of breakout rooms for those of you who want to network with some of the other attendees here. But any of the judges or investors want to say any final thoughts and where people can find them or follow up with them if they have questions and anything.
I gotta go. My info's in the chat. Nice to meet you all. And
Thanks
have
so much, Erica. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I would just love to congratulate everybody. You guys were articulate. The graphics were great. The presentation was clean, and I really felt like everybody explained their businesses, very clearly. As far as my information, I'm also in the chat room. Feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, I would echo that. I think that what's really interesting is seeing some variability among the judges' scores based on the different pitches. And that's all to say that none of you should be discouraged. And being an early stage company is all about getting out in front of as many early stage investors as you can and letting them understand your personality, your passion, and your space. So if it's not one of us, there are thousands of other investors out there. And there's been an interest in early stage direct investing like there's never been in America before. So now's your time.
Can I ask you a question? Is that a guitar you play, or is that a prop guitar?
I taught myself. It's an electric, but not
I
regular.
have one of those, the Epiphone Les Paul. Good choice.
Nice. To echo Nisha's point real quick, and then we'll wrap up with the other judges. There definitely was a lot of differing scores in the startups too. And a point I just want to make for these founders and other founders too is like, you got to find the investors who get your business, who are in your industry too. I mean, we had a lot of different types of industries and stuff. So some investors are much more technology focused, others are D2C or whatnot. So like she said, don't get discouraged, and definitely jump into our network, and we're going to help you try to get connected to other investors and stuff as well. But great job overall. And then Brad, did you have anything that you want to add? I know KP had to jump off early because he had to run, but Brad, if there's anything else that you want to add.
Yeah, just congratulations to the winners and great diversity tonight. Really love seeing the pitches. If you were here doing a pitch, that means you're really doing something great already. So just to reiterate, don't get discouraged. When I raised money for my business, I had to talk to 85 investors to get funded. So I think the average is 50 to 60. So I'm below average, but I did it. So hang in there and keep working hard, and love the pitches. So thanks so much. Feel free to connect with me on Entre or on LinkedIn and seedroundcapital.com. Thanks.
Really appreciate it, Brad. And yeah, thanks so much, judges, finalists. Amazing job tonight.